All I want right now is water though.
Diet Coke.
And a Diet Coke. Oh, that would be divine. Okay, this morning we are up pretty early because we're taking a train to Kawaguchiko, one of the Mount Fuji towns, and feeling slightly anxious about the travel there because we could only reserve a portion of the trip with our JR pass, and they're telling us that like there was no other way to get a ticket for the remainder of the journey until basically we get off at the station where the JR pass ends. So we're going like halfway there and then trying to figure out how to get the other half of the way. We're gonna spend the day in Kawaguchiko and hike Mount Fuji tomorrow. So I'm probably gonna try and make like a little instructional how-to video because this has all been a little confusing for us, and I feel like it shouldn't be that hard. Like, it's a major tourist spot, so I'm not really sure why it's that hard, but it has been a little difficult. So anyway, good news is I figured out how to work the kettle in our room. Got my coffee this morning, so ready to go. Okay, peace. So freaking good. Your food is ready! Okay, we are in Kawaguchiko and just gonna do a very quick how to get here from Shinjuku if you're taking the Fuji-Q limited express train, which is like the fastest way to get here, but it is a bit of a hassle. So if you have the JR pass, you can use, nice. Whoa! If you have the JR pass, you can use it for a portion of the Fuji-Q limited express train. Basically from Shinjuku to Otsuki, you can use with your JR pass. You cannot, however, get from Otsuki to wherever you're trying to go in the Mount Fuji area. For us, it was Kawaguchiko. It was an additional, like, that was the last 45 minutes of the trip. And the train is kind of interesting because it actually breaks apart. So the part that's controlled by the JR, like, goes somewhere else. And then the first 3 train cars for the Fuji-Q Limited Express keep going into the Mount Fuji area. So what we had to do is we had to walk up to those first 3 train cars, and we purchased our ticket once we got up there from one of the conductors. The only downside was that we couldn't purchase those like from the JR office, so we did have to do standing room, and I think you can get tickets for it in advance, but they were just sold out by the time that we tried to do it. But you can get tickets from the like machines inside of the train stations in Tokyo. But yeah, they were sold out, so standing room only. So we walked up there though, we bought our portion of that trip ticket, and then we got to Kawaguchiko and we went straight to the ticket office to buy our way back, which I would recommend doing because we do have seats for the way back, which is very nice. And now we're going to get something to eat.
Tunnel.
Spirited Away tunnel.
Hopefully we get out.
We're going to be stuck there. Today's the day. DK's nervous energy. Today we are hiking Mount Fuji. I also did not do a good night vlog last night, so I was literally dead. I was falling asleep at the restaurant. But it's good because I'm recharged, energized for what is going to be a very long day. We're doing the whole hike today from the 5th station up to the top, doing the Yoshida Trail. And we have seen so many videos about how long it's gonna take. Some people say like, what, 7 hours, and people say 10 hours. So we're getting on the very first bus because the last bus leaves at 6:40 p.m. So we are leaving now on the 6:30 a.m. bus to get there at 7:30, start hiking around 8 probably, and hopefully it doesn't take us 10 hours. Excited?
Yeah.
Woo! Okay, 7th station. How are you doing?
Still good?
Yeah.
It was pretty tough actually.
I'm not gonna lie. A bit harder than. Oh my god, let me fall off the side of this mountain. A bit harder than I thought. 42 minutes for each mile. So we're 2 miles up. We've already gained 1,300.
For each mile.
1,300 feet.
Oh.
Yeah, we think we're a little under halfway. We're gonna get some stamps on our little sticks. We got these sticks at the bottom, and you can get them stamped at each station, except they don't have one at the 6th station. I'm gonna eat my fruit. We learned that the stamps that you get on the little sticks are not free. They're like 300 to 500 yen. So if you're doing the little stamp thingies, make sure that you bring cash up. Also, all of the food and stuff costs money too if you want it. When you're coming up, it's more expensive than it is down at the bottom. And the little sticks, we got the mini sticks because we don't think we're gonna be able to carry the giant ones back. And the mini sticks are definitely not big enough for all the stamps. There are like a ton of stamps. Come prepared. descent. We made it up in like 5 hours, and I think the average was 6, so above average. That's what I'm saying. And I feel like we stopped a lot, actually. There are a lot of places to stop. I think we basically stopped at every single one of them and got our little stamps at the mountain huts. And then we stopped at other places too, because the last like 2 hours were really, really hard. And we were moving very slow. And then it got super congested. Like once we got closer to the top, there was just like a lot of people and it went really slow. So potentially we could have gotten up a little bit faster, but I don't know. It was kind of nice to go slow because we were dead. And now we're starting our way down at 1:53. So we'll see how long it takes us to get down. On a scale of 1 to 10, how hard? 8. I was gonna say 9. It's pretty hard. Probably the most difficult hike I have ever done, despite it not being like super long. It just was like straight up the entire way. And hopefully we don't wipe out on the way down. Okay, we had just made it back to the fifth station in like 2 hours and 40 minutes. Okay, very quick. The average was supposed to be 4 hours, so we definitely thought it was gonna take us longer. But absolutely gorgeous because now we can take an earlier bus back and eat dinner. All I want right now is water though.
Diet Coke.
And a Diet Coke. Oh, that would be divine. We did that. We hiked that. Our Mount Fuji review slash recap. So this morning we got on the 6:30 a.m. bus from Kawaguchiko to the fifth station to climb Mount Fuji. We were able to sit on the bus but not even next to each other, and a lot of people had to stand on that bus. So note to self, if you're taking the bus, get there a little bit early or you're gonna stand for an hour. If you can't tell, we're very tired. I'm like, I can't barely put a sentence together. We did the whole hike, 5 hours to get to the top, 2.5 hours to get back down. We budgeted time for 10. We did the entire hike in one day, which a lot of people do, like afternoon, evening hike, and then they stay in a little mountain hut and hike to the peak for sunrise. But I think it's just up to you. I feel like I like the way that we did it because it wasn't super crowded. When we were coming down, there were like these huge tour groups coming up. And I've definitely seen like pictures and videos of people there before where it's just like packed on the peak. I also think like the mountain huts, they did look pretty cute. Some of them had like sleeping bags there, but some were just like a room where I think you just like sleep on the floor. And I've also heard that they get booked very quickly, so if you do want to book a mountain hut, I feel like make sure that you have that booked ahead of time because I think it gets pretty chilly up there. And speaking of weather, we literally could not have had better weather. Like I feel like I read so many horror stories about people climbing Mount Fuji, and it was like, oh, it was raining the whole time, or like the wind was crazy. Today is, oh, I don't have my watch on, August 28th, 29th. And there's no snow up there right now. Like, I think it was like 60 degrees pretty much the entire way. I wore like biker shorts and a tank top for the majority of the hike. And then when we got closer to the top, I had like a light jacket on and like some pants as well. So, which I honestly didn't even really feel like I needed. It was so...
We didn't need gloves and...
Yeah, we brought gloves and beanies. We did not use them. Things that maybe I wish I knew. So we got these sticks, which they have like walking sticks, like full-size walking sticks, but we didn't know how we would get that back on the plane. So we got these little mini ones. They like burn stamps into them at, I think it's starting at the 7th station and going all the way up to the top. There's a lot of them. So we actually ran out of room for the stamps, and we ended up buying some like extra little plaques or whatever just to get the stamps. This was 800 yen at the bottom. When you get up to the top, it's like 1500 yen, like the higher up you go. And also you have to pay for every single stamp, which like, it's like, they're very cool, but it's a little annoying. It's like 300 to 500 yen, depending on the stop. So I did know that you were supposed to have cash with you to come up the mountain, because if you want to get any food or drinks, which by the way, they have a ton of food and drinks on the way up. Like, they literally have full-on restaurants on the way up. That's all cash only. You are also supposed to use cash if you want to go to the restrooms, like 200 yen. But I didn't think I was going to use it because we brought food with us from 7-Eleven. So I ended up using a lot more cash than I thought because we were getting all these freaking stamps.
Just have all the cash?
Yeah.
This person yelling. What was that?
Oh yeah, the guy, I hope you cash. There was like this person that was trying to like buy something with a card. That was at the bottom too, before we even went up. And this guy's like, I hope you cash.
Like, we brought perfect amount of water.
Yeah, I brought we brought like 3 bottles each. 3 bottles of water each. I also brought some ibuprofen. I started to get a little bit of a headache once I got to like the 8th station, and PK's legs were hurting, so that was good. In terms of difficulty, I will say it was pretty hard. Like, I didn't think it was gonna be that hard because it's not far in terms of like a mountain hike. If you have done a lot of hikes, you know that sometimes they like ebb and flow, where it's like, oh, you go up for a bit, then it's like flat for a bit. Like, this was literally straight up hike for, yeah, the whole 5 hours that we got to the summit. We did stop at every single like little station. So there is you start at the 5th station, there's a 6th station, which is basically like just a checkpoint. They give you like a safety card, and there's not really anything there. Yeah, 7th and 8th stations are like the big ones that have like a lot of food and drinks and like souvenirs and stuff like that. But there's a lot of like mini guest houses starting at the 7th station and basically going all the way up that also sell a lot of things. So there are a lot of places to stop, and I think we pretty much stopped everywhere because we wanted the stamps and we needed rest. There is a 9th station. It's basically just a hut with literally nothing in it, and it's quite close to the summit. The 9th station is where it started to get really crowded. I thought it was really hard.
It was. Even the descent, it's not easy.
Yeah, the way down, it's a different way down than the way up, and it is like switchbacks the whole way, and it's like straight down. Like, I cannot believe I didn't fall.
That's
Yeah.
why my knees.
I don't know, would you do it again?
Would I do it again? I think I would.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
New stamps. They change the stamps every year, I think.
Yeah, because a bunch of ours say 2023 on them. And then the way back, we were gonna take the same bus back, but then they were just like piling people onto like random buses. So we took a different bus back, but we made it somehow. Huh?
It was fun.
Yeah, it was fun. But now we're disgusting. So we're gonna go shower and then hopefully go to an onsen tomorrow to recover. PK just shot that all over his shirt.
Do not visit this
Yeah.
web.
It's pretty cool though.